Letting go felt cruel because you still remembered how different he could seem when he was close. Not the man who left you guessing. The man who appeared just long enough to make you question every reason to walk away. You saw it in the way he could soften for one evening. He would sit close, pay attention, ask about something you once said. And for a few hours, it felt like the door had opened again. Not completely. Just enough to make you think. Maybe this is who he really is when nothing is being asked of him. Then the next day came, and that warmth did not become anything steady you could rely on. He did not carry that care into the hard conversation. He did not make a clear plan. He did not protect the connection when being present required effort from him. The part of him you loved showed up in flashes, but the part you had to live with was the one who kept making you adjust around his absence. And you could see it in the way your body relaxed when he was kind again. What still had no answer became easier to forgive. And before long, you were becoming careful with the truth, because naming what was missing felt like accusing him of being someone you did not want him to be. So you started treating your own exit like a crime. You told yourself that leaving meant you had stopped believing in him. You looked at the rare, tender moments and used them as proof that walking away would be unfair. Each return made leaving feel premature, as if you were walking away one moment before the man you had seen might finally stay. That was the trap. Because that better side of him kept returning, leaving stopped feeling like protection. It started feeling like you were abandoning him before he had the chance to become different. The excuse was simple. You told yourself he was still in there. You decided the caring man was the real one. The absent man was only who he became under pressure, fear, or bad timing. Instead of asking whether this was the life he was actually offering, you asked what had happened to the better man and how much more patience might bring him back. So when his effort disappeared again, you reached for the explanation that hurt the least. You told yourself he was overwhelmed, afraid, and unsure of how to show what he felt. He had a good heart. He simply got lost. Those words protected the connection. They made his lack of follow-through feel temporary instead of showing you the pattern. They made his absence seem like a passing problem, not something you were being asked to live with. There was a moment when you already knew this. Maybe you were sitting alone after another plan he did not follow through on. You had moved your evening around. You had kept yourself available. You had already made room for him before he had given you a real plan. Then he came back with a soft voice, a tired reason, and just enough regret to make you put your disappointment away. You did not want to punish him for being human. That is where the excuse became dangerous. Because you were not asking for perfection. You were asking for something you could count on without studying his mood first. But every time he showed a glimpse of the man you wanted, you used it to explain the man who kept disappearing when it mattered. You started calling his better moments his real self, and you treated the rest as pressure, fear, bad timing, or confusion. That explanation let you stay close without admitting what closeness was costing you. It let you keep waiting for a man who appeared in pieces, while you kept giving him the benefit of the doubt. The truth is, he did not have to promise forever to keep you stuck. He only had to return often enough for you to keep making room. That is what made it hard to see clearly. His best moments were not fake to you. They happened. You remembered his face and voice when he seemed present. But those moments did not become a life you could stand on. You protected those moments while your days kept adjusting around them. You started living between his better moods. At work, your attention split. One part of you answered emails, finished tasks, nodded in meetings. Another part replayed the last time he was warm, trying to decide whether that moment meant anything had really changed. At home, simple choices became heavy. Whether to go out, whether to tell someone what was really happening. You did not want to explain what was happening while you were still hoping he would prove you wrong. Your sleep changed too. Sometimes you lay awake longer than usual, staring into the dark, remembering his tenderness, and then remembering how little you could rely on him. Your body was tired, but your mind kept trying to make sense of a man who never stayed consistent for long. The worst part was how reasonable you made it look. You made your reactions smaller so you would not seem unfair. You swallowed disappointment because he had been kind recently. You accepted confusion because leaving felt like closing the door on the part of him you still loved. Look at what that required from you. You had to ignore the difference between a glimpse and a pattern. You had to keep forgiving the absence because of the return. Waiting for his better side protected you from one painful feeling: the guilt of believing that leaving meant abandoning the best part of him. You had to keep betraying your own need for something steady, just so you would not feel like you were betraying him. That was the real cost, not just missing him. Becoming a woman who could feel neglected and still call herself cruel for wanting to leave. You were not wrong about the moments when he was gentle. They happened, and they mattered to you. The mistake was not believing those moments. It was asking them to explain every day when his care disappeared. There may have been real feeling there. He may have cared in the moments when he was close. He may have meant what he said when he said it. But care that only appears when the conditions are easy still leaves you carrying the hard parts alone. A feeling can be real and still not be reliable. A tender hour can be honest and still not be enough to build your life around. You were not wrong to notice the good. The problem was what you were asked to do with it. You began expecting a few clear moments to explain away too many unclear ones. You kept holding space for the man who might come through, while the man in front of you kept giving you something you could never feel secure in. You do not need to punish yourself for believing what you genuinely saw. You saw something real. You simply let those moments matter more than what he kept choosing afterward. The step forward is not to prove he never cared. That will keep you tied to the same argument. A smaller place to begin is the moment when one soft memory comes back and makes you doubt everything else that happened. That memory can remain exactly what it was. One moment, one night, one version of him that appeared but did not stay long enough to become reliable. Maybe you are in the kitchen, doing something ordinary, and you remember the way he once looked at you like he understood. For a second, the old pull starts. Your mind wants to turn that scene into a reason to check on him, defend him again, or reopen a door that already hurt you. This is the moment that matters. The memory does not have to be attacked or called fake. It simply does not have to make the next decision for you. Say the whole sentence, quietly if you need to. Yes, that happened, and so did everything after it. Then let the rest of the story stand beside it. The plan that never became solid. The conversations where you did all the explaining and still left without an answer. The way you kept feeling guilty for needing more than a glimpse. Not to punish him, not to harden yourself, only to stop one beautiful piece from hiding the part that kept breaking your trust. Letting go is not giving up on him. It is stepping out of the job of believing in the man he might become. His daily choices have already been showing you what he is actually offering. The ache may still come. You may still miss what almost felt possible. But the memory can stay good without becoming a reason to return. You do not have to erase what was real. You only have to stop letting one good moment decide what you accept next.